Hi everyone! So today I am doing 25 study hacks that everyone should know. Literally, if you're in middle school, high school, college, getting your PhD, whatever you are doing, these are study hacks that will help you. And also if you have to just remember stuff that's just like random things for your work or whatever, these tips will definitely help you out. I was actually procrastinating on studying for an AP test recently, which we all do, let's be real. And I thought it would be a really good idea for a video to show you guys some ways that will make studying less painful and less like feeling like you're studying, you know? Honestly, no one likes studying, but there are some ways that can make it a little bit less hard and a little bit less like, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Before we even start the video, I want you to go in the comments below and leave a study tip for somebody else so that we can all help each other ace our tests this year and ace our final exams and everything like that. Let's just all help each other out, and we got this. We got this, guys. We really do. Also, these glasses are fake. I just bought them for the video because I thought it would be fun. I don't know. I feel like if you wear glasses, you're like automatically smart, so. Numero uno, if you type your notes in a weird font, if you're on your laptop or on some sort of computer or even on your phone or your iPad, if you type it in a font that's harder to read, it makes you have to think more about the words you're actually reading so you don't just skim over them, because a lot of textbooks are just written in the same like Times New Roman or Arial font, and it makes it really easy to just kind of glide over with your eyes and not really absorb the information. But if you're forced to slow down and read your notes word by word because the font is harder to read, it'll make it so much more ingrained in your brain. If your teacher assigns a lecture, any other video that you need to watch for class or for a test, YouTube actually has a speed adjustment setting. So if you go to the little like gear bar that's on the bottom bar, like where the pause and play button are in the video, you can actually adjust the speed to being really slow or really fast. If you kind of already know the material and you just kind of want to skim over it, or if the video is going really, really slowly or the speaker's just a slow talker, you can set the speed faster so they get through the video faster, but you still get all the information, you're not skipping anything. Even if your teacher doesn't allow you to have like a note card or a study card on the test, pretend that they do and take an index card and write down all the relevant information that you could think of while you're studying, and then look through and see if there's anything you missed, and that'll help you prioritize in your brain what you need to go over. There's a really cool website called Self-Control, which I have definitely used in the past because I have no self-control. When it comes to like social media and stuff, I'm usually on my phone. You can do it on your phone too, there's an app for it. But if you're studying on your computer and you need to block websites like Facebook or your email or anything like that, like just stuff that's mindless distraction, Pinterest, you can go on Self-Control and it will lock you out of whatever websites you want to for however long you say it should lock you out from. And it won't even let you unlock them again for the amount of time that you specified before, if that makes sense. So you really cannot break your focus studying, and it's amazing for those times when you just like are trying to study so hard, but people keep distracting you and you want to look up this and you want to look up that and you want to check your email, and it's like 2 hours and you've done one word. If you go to Google and you Google the subject of the test, so like macroeconomics or AP environmental science plus file type :PPT, you'll find presentations online. So it's PowerPoints. So just by Googling that PowerPoint format attached to the subject name, you're gonna find all the PowerPoints that have ever been published online on that subject. This also works for textbooks if you didn't want to buy your textbook or you forgot your textbook or anything like that. Just use the same format as the previous one, but replace PPT with PDF, and you will find any and all textbook formats that are uploaded online in PDF form for you to use. As soon as your teacher hands out the test or exam, as long as you're allowed to write on the test or on some scratch paper or something, just write down everything you can remember before you even write your name or anything like that. And just before you start anything, just write down everything that's in your head. So if you're taking a vocab quiz that asks you to remember and define like 10 words, just write as many of those 10 words as you can remember on that paper right there, and then you'll have them and you won't have to think of them during the test. This has helped me so much when I've had to cram last minute for a quick test. I'll just look at whatever the subject is right before I go and take the test, and I just write it down from memory from like the previous minute. It helps so much, and you can cross off things as you go that way too. You're 50% more likely to remember something if you say it out loud rather than just writing it down or reading it. So if you have a dog or a cat, maybe try reading the like formulas to them, and just like, obviously they're not gonna learn it, but it really, really helps to say it out loud and for you to hear it in your own voice. I've never been able to pronounce this word, but mnemonic devices, I think, M-N-E-M-O-I-C, like the devices where it's like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally for the order of operations for math. So it's basically just you take the first letter of the word of whatever it is you have to remember, and then you make like a another word out of that, and then you can make a story out of that. So I hope that makes sense. So for example, for the order of operations, it goes PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So that's the order, is the math ones, and then you just make it into that abbreviation, which you can remember PEMDAS, or you can make it into that longer sentence, which is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is the same abbreviation. It also really, really helps if you have to remember something that goes in a specific order, like how big something is, or, you know, the different phases of something in biology. The sorts of things that need to be in specific order really, really helps use a mnemonic device for. If you're in high school or middle school or grade school even, ratemyteachers.com, and if you're in college, it's ratemyprofessors.com, will give you reviews on each teacher at your school. It's the coolest thing. It'll tell you things like how hard the grader they are, and if you have to actually buy the textbook and things like that, what the exams are like, everything that's like specific to that teacher. You can get ideas from the reviews from former students. It's amazing. And if you get your schedule like in the summer, you can always go on there and like kind of see who you're gonna have next year and see what other people have said about them. It's so nice to know. I feel like before you go in the classroom, more information about the teacher, it just makes you feel more relaxed and more like, okay, you know, you kind of have like a background information on them. It's like Instagram stalking, but better. Use the same perfume or cologne when you're studying as when you take the test. This is the most amazing tip. I actually just tried it recently and it really worked like so much better than I expected. So if you have like a body spray from Victoria's Secret that's like a vanilla one, spray that on when you're studying your math, and then make sure you use it again right before you take your math test. So like bring the bottle to school with you if you have to, and literally just spritz it. It will make your connection to when you studied it so much stronger just by having that scent be the same in both places. Gum also works the same way. If you chew the same flavor of gum while you're studying as you do when you take the test, that flavor connection will also make your memory work better to remember the stuff that you studied while chewing it before. It's honestly so crazy, like psychology, man, who knew? If you're trying to study for a test really quickly and maybe you didn't do all the assignments or you didn't read all the sections in the book, just go through your textbook or, you know, your lesson plan or whatever it is and read the summaries of each chapter or section, because they have the most important information just summed up in them. And more often than not, you can get pretty much all the information you need to by just reading the summaries and like taking in the summaries really well, and they're way shorter than trying to read the entire section that you missed. If you're struggling to remember a specific word or specific phrase or equation or anything like that, clench your fist like this, or with your thumb inside, it doesn't really matter. Clenching your fist, oddly enough, increases brain activity and it can help you remember stuff much faster. I'm sure that like 99% of high school and college students know about Quizlet, but in case you don't, it is the most amazing thing. So if you go to Google and you just search the class and unit that you're on, so like AP Environmental Unit 6, you'll find other people's flashcards for that test. And you can go through and use their flashcards as actual flashcards. So there's like different settings to like actually quiz yourself or just look up the definitions straight up, things like that. And you can also make your own set of flashcards for yourself if it's a unique subject and no one else has done it, or if you just want to make flashcards for yourself to have as your own wording. And it's totally free, so yay! If you're looking at a word problem or like a story problem or even just a long section of reading that you have to do, replace the characters' names with people that you actually know, because it'll make you care more about the outcome. So if you have a problem that says Karen had 5 apples and Benji had 7, you know, how much do they have now? Replace them with names of your sister or your brother or your best friend or your mom or your dad, and it will make you like make a connection to the problem and want to solve it more because you have a connection to the characters. Because like, honestly, I don't care about Ben and Karen's apples. Like, I really don't. But I might care about them if they were my best friend and some guy at my school. You know, it works, trust me. You're way more likely to remember something written in blue ink than in black ink, so whenever you can, whenever your teacher allows it, write your notes in blue ink and just write down things in blue as much as you can versus black. And also you can use other bright colors, but primarily blue is the best color for memory. If you don't want to stick Post-it notes around your house or your parents won't let you or anything like that, you can actually use dry erase markers on your mirrors to write notes, which make sure they're dry erase. If they're permanent markers, they will be very mad. They'll be more mad than if you use Post-its. But if you can just get a pack of dry erase markers from the store for really, really cheap and just write down your notes literally on the mirror, you can quiz yourself as you're brushing your teeth, washing your face, doing your makeup, anything like that. And it's so nice because we look at mirrors more often than we realize, so the notes are always right there. It's great. If you have a yoga ball or an exercise ball, like one of those really, really big ones in your house, if you sit on it while you're studying, it will improve your concentration because you have that little bit of a distraction of trying to stay balanced and stay upward and engaging your core. You're also getting a workout, which is multitask queen. It fills that small need for a distraction in our brains without actually making you not study. The color yellow actually wakes you up and makes you more focused. So if you have a yellow room in your house, or if you have any yellow furniture, yellow blankets, just surround yourself with as much yellow as possible and it will wake you up so much. Personally, I hate yellow, so that would just make me hate studying. But if you don't hate yellow, surround yourself with it. It'll help. Eating grapes improves concentration, which is so funny to me because I love grapes. And bonus points if they're frozen, not because they're delicious, which they are frozen. Frozen grapes are so good if you haven't tried them. Go right now, go freeze some grapes. But also frozen food wakes up your brain more than warm temperature food or room temperature food. So double whammy, concentration wakes you up, power food. Superfood? Power food. Superpower food. Peppermint is another food that stimulates brain activity and helps you with concentration. So if you want to chew peppermint gum or suck on a peppermint candy or anything like that, even a real peppermint or mint leaf can really, really help you increase that concentration and brain power. Woo! Writing something down is the equivalent of reading it 7 times. So don't ever just go through your textbook and like just read it through and be like, okay, I got this. Just write some notes down. Even if you hate taking notes with all your heart, I promise you it will help so, so much. If you use a color coding system of highlighters with your stuff, you can make it really clear to yourself what you need to go over and what you need to learn more about and what you've got. So if you use a green highlighter over things that you totally understand and it's totally fine, you don't need to study anymore, then you can just leave those and not look over them anymore because you've got it in your head. And then use a yellow highlighter for things that could use another look but you're not feeling too bad about. And then a red highlighter for things that you like really need to look back at and relearn and drill into your head and study some more. It helps so much, and that color coding system is so intuitive too because like traffic lights are red, yellow, and green. So we already know that system of stop, slow, go, and it's really easy for our brains to process that kind of color coding system versus like I have pink for dates and I have yellow for science and I have red for names, and that kind of stuff can get so confusing so fast. So this is really, really helpful, more helpful than any other color coding kind of system, I think. If you have small pieces of information like names, dates, formulas, things like that, put them on neon sticky notes. Neon is very important because it'll catch your eye and you'll like be forced to look at it almost, and stick them around your house where you'll see them. So for instance, you might put a vocab word on your mirror or a math equation or a math equation on your counter. Just wherever you go in the morning or at night or just like whenever you're at your house, the surfaces you look at the most, even the fridge. The fridge is like the coolest place to put equations because it's like, oh, I need some almond milk. Oh yeah, that's right, the quadratic formula. Just wherever you will see them, and seeing them throughout the day will help you remember it so much better than just looking at one time and then not looking at it again for another like 24 hours. And last but definitely not least, this is actually really, really important. If you study the same material in different places, it will make your brain connection to that memory so much stronger because it's building connections in all different kinds of locations and settings. So for example, if you want to study in your room one day and then study the same things in your kitchen the next day and then at a coffee shop the next day and then at a friend's house the next day, it will make it so, so, so ingrained in your head, and you will do so much better on the test than if you just study in your bed all the time. So those are all of my study hacks that I have for you guys today. I wish you the best of luck on your AP exams, your final exams, any kind of tests you have to take, and life in general, honestly. Again, make sure to leave any of your own study hacks that help you in the comments below so we can all learn from them. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this and tips and tricks. You guys really loved my last like hacks video, and I haven't done one in almost a year, over a year. Oh my gosh. Give me a thumbs up if you think I should do more hack and tip videos. I kind of like doing them because I feel like we're all just helping each other. Like it's a good system. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat if you want to see some behind the scenes for videos and upcoming videos and all sorts of fun stuff, just my life in general. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you guys very, very soon in my next video. Bye. 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 There are tons of fonts on, there are tons of EPT,